One of my favorite things about Smash Ultimate is that not only are there a lot of characters to play, but Ultimate is arguably the installment that got the closest to balancing out those characters. Even the so-called trash tiers have the potential to be seen in high-level play in some capacity, due in part to almost all of them having one or frequently several moves in their kit that are exceptionally powerful. As a result, a widespread facet of discourse throughout the Smash Ultimate community is that of moves. What is the strongest or weakest move in the game, or the strongest or weakest move of each type? Creators like Pichu, Esam, and Mockrock made tons of videos breaking down those topics, but one that I haven't seen yet is what is the strongest move for each character. Pichu made one for the weakest move of each character, but I don't recall him making one of the strongest, and even if he did, that was back in like version 3.0 of Ultimate, long before certain characters received a ton of buffs or possibly nerfs. I thought it would be fun to share my thoughts on this topic since I love looking at fighters' attacks like their frame data, their safety on shield, hitboxes, and use cases, so it's a great pleasure that I bring you a new mini-series, Every Character's Best Move. Given there are upwards of 80 distinct characters, I'm going to divide this video into 3 parts to give enough time to explain my thought process for each one. For the first episode, we'll go through fighters 1 through 28, that being Mario through Pit. Some extra ground rules to lay out before we get started. Echo fighters with distinct features will be counted separately, but those with largely the same moveset will not. An example of the former would be Marth and Lucina, where the presence of a tipper or lack thereof can fundamentally alter the status of a certain attack. An example of the latter would be Peach and Daisy, Simon and Richter, or Samus and Dark Samus, who possess no discernible differences in the grand scheme of things. Finally, I'll be evaluating each choice both within the context of the character and in isolation, as in how well its properties would carry over if it were to be inserted into another character. Without further ado, let's begin. So being a jack of all trades, Mario makes good use of all of his attacks, but if I were to pinpoint which one he lives and dies on, it would have to be up air. With the frame 4 startup, it's one of the fastest moves in the game. Being -3 on shield, it's also safe to use as a landing tool, and the good coverage around him as well as having very low base knockback and comboing into itself make for a fantastic juggle tool that's really only kept in check by its short range. Up air is also just as effective for bridge combos as it is for ladder combos, and probably the best somersault kick type attack in the game. Donkey Kong's another character with no shortage of awesome attacks, and I was really torn between cargo throw and back air, but after thinking about it for a while, I settled on back air. In fact, I stand by Mockrock's decision of calling it the best back air in the game. Frame 7 startup, making it a frame 10 out of shield from behind, has really good range, reasonably safe on shield, a long-lasting hitbox, you can throw 2 of them out in a short hop provided you're not a fast faller, and it has really good damage output and kill power, enough to where the strong hit closes out stocks at around 110% near the ledge. Once again, the only thing that balances this move out is that it's not disjointed. If it were, that would just be unfair. I don't think we need to elaborate on what Link's best move is. It's Nair. I mean, just look at it. Those hitboxes are almost bigger than his entire body. It's -2 on shield with a strong hit and can even be a kill move at higher percents. Not to mention having an extremely long-lasting hitbox and low end lag. This move comprises a huge portion of Link's neutral, and for good reason. It's one of the best Nairs in the game. If it were any faster than frame 7, it would be the best Nair in the game. For Samus and Dark Samus, we got another classic, Charge Shot. Charge Shot is a combo starter, a projectile, a kill move, a ledge trapping tool, an edge guarding tool, and it pressures opponents into approaching all at the same time. Widely considered one of the most useful neutral beasts in the game for its simple yet very reliable traits. Yoshi's a weird character. A lot of his attacks are only really usable because it's on a super floaty high air physics character like him. But even if we were to extract it out of his kit, I think neutral air would be the best call. It's a frame 3 sex kick, making it a frame 6 out of shield option, and while its range is nowhere near as BS as Link's, it has a lot more uses, namely in that it's a lot better as an out of shield option and combo breaker. Yoshi players wouldn't know what to do without it. So I had a hard time choosing Kirby's attacks because his normals are all fantastic. And as I'm sure many of us can agree on, if his specials were changed, he would be a much more threatening character. With that said, I ultimately settled on Down Tilt. Down Tilt is broken, one of the best down tilts in the game in my humble opinion. It's a frame 4 startup, -9 on shield, low profiles him to almost kiss the ground and has a very high chance of tripping, therefore allowing him to follow up into a smash attack. It also jab blocks too. This move is hacks, only really surpassed by maybe Rob's Down Tilt. Okay, at this point some of you may be wondering if half the roster's best move is just Nair, but that's mostly because Nairs in Ultimate are not only very strong but versatile, since it usually hits both sides of them or all around them in certain cases, as well as being very fast. In the early days of Ultimate, a character's viability solely depended on how good their Nair was. In Fox's case, it's Nair once again, although I'm not entirely sure how good it would be outside of the context of Fox's kit, like if you have falling Nair into up smash or falling Nair into tech chase forward smash, which is why I had half a mind to include dash attack. It's equally as fast and can still maintain its combo potential if it were added to another character, but I think Nair is more useful within the context of Fox's kit. It's another sex kick and an extremely fast one to boot. Pikachu's been touted as one of the game's best characters ever since the start of Ultimate, and that stems from him having a lot of really good moves, but I think Quick Attack takes the cake. Not as ridiculous as it was in Smash 4, but as a recovery tool and even cross-up tool, it's an uppy most people would be really happy to have. You might be wondering why I didn't include Thunder Jolt or Back Air. For the simple reason that while T-Jolt is one of the best zone control tools in the game and Back Air is one of the best status shield back airs in the game as well as a combo move, I think part of what makes Pikachu so difficult to fight is that you can't edge guard him or even juggle him since he can reposition himself so well. Might be a hot take. Luigi will be the first character in this series whose best move is a throw, down throw. Debatably the best combo down throw in the game for having a near vertical launch angle and a very big combo window that if it were on anyone with a strong up air like, I don't know, Pyra, Ike, Ivysaur, or Corrin, this would make for the most brain dead kill setups in the game bar none. It's already stupid broken on Luigi with his down B and up B setups, and lest you forget his notorious 0 to deaths, but it would be useful on pretty much everyone. Speaking of throws, Falcon's weird. Individually, I don't really consider many of his attacks to be all that great to be honest. It's just when paired together they can be really destructive, like falling air into knee or down air into knee. But I suppose while we're on the subject of talking about knee, forward air is his best move in my opinion, which may come as a surprise but hear me out. It's only balanced by the fact that Falcon doesn't have an easy 1-2 setup into it that isn't falling up air. Again, if you had Luigi down throw or Mythos up tilt, this move is basically guaranteed. It's also really good as a gimping tool for its X-kick properties, and has deceptively low end lag making it safe to use off stage. I would shudder to think of a character with like a Diddy Kong dash attack or Incineroar down tilt into Falcon knee. For Jigglypuff's best move, I'm gonna go with Pound. Extremely long lasting hitbox that's also disjointed, does massive shield damage and can combo into many attacks. Hypothetically, since I'm committed to this, the upwards launch angle can lead into a Falcon knee for instance. On the other hand, Rest, despite how strong it is too risky to be considered her best move. Peach and Daisy's best move would have to be back air, mostly cause I can't really find a reason to choose anything else. Frame 6 makes it a frame 9 out of shield option from behind, decent range and relatively safe on shield as well. But most of Peach and Daisy's moveset can be hard to evaluate if we disregard their ability to float, so I wasn't entirely sure what to pick. Similarly to Donkey Kong, Bowser has a plethora of really freaking good individual moves. He's got side B, up B, forward air, forward tilt, up smash, so it's kinda hard to select one. But if I were to consider all of the possible side Bs one would have, Bowser's side B is just too good to pass up. A frame 6 command grab that can kill and or suicide KO, does a ton of damage, allows for shield pressure mix-ups, and is overall one of the best side Bs in the game. I'm gonna be real with you, Ice Climber's attacks are all weird because there's 2 of them. In fact, a lot of them on their own would kinda suck, but are made better because there's 2 of them. So you inherently get more damage, more shield pressure, more safety on shield, more KO power, etc. Either way, I think we'll go with side B. This move can recover, pressure and cross up shields, do tons of damage, even set up for aerial juggles, and is one of their most annoying attacks. Though again, I'm not sure if Squall Hammer would be a lot worse if Nana wasn't factored into the equation. If it is worse, then let's go with Blizzard. Fun fact, Ultimate Frame Data says that down B is active on LOL, which is kinda hilarious. Sheik, oof, that's a tough one. I think I'll go with Nair. I know, kinda boring, but it's a core part of her kit and behaves very much like Yoshi and Fox's Nairs. So take what I said about them and it's the same for her. Okay, we're at 17 characters so far, 11 more to go, let's speed things up. Zelda, easy one. Phantom, it's a zoning tool, ledge trapping tool, conditioning tool, KO tool, and the bane of every Wi-Fi player's existence. Moving on. Dr. Mario's best move would have to be his neutral B, Pills. It's essentially identical to Mario's Fireball, only the Pills bounce higher up, covering more total area. Cody actually disagreed with me and said up B is Dr. Mario's best move, and I was like, dude, I don't care how strong his up B is, it's one of the worst recovery options in the game. Unless the character has another way to recover like Zeus's flip jump, all the strength in Dr. Mario's up B does not cancel out how bad it is as a recovery. I think for Pichu, I'm gonna go with Nair. Once again, like most others, it's a frame 3 Nair with the usual stuff, although unlike Fox, Sheik, and Yoshi, it's one of those spinning Nairs, giving it more range in general. I thought about selecting back air since it's extremely fast and it's like a truck, but it's too unsafe on shield. Of course, if this was day 1, we all know which attack would be his best move. Falco's another easy one, up tilt, the best up tilt in the game hands down. There was always a running debate on how useful up tilt would be if it were on a character with worse jump height than Falco, but that wouldn't disqualify how useful this move is in general, just to kill percent windows, which pragmatically speaking are still very generous. For Marth, I'm gonna go with forward tilt. Fast startup, really good range, outstanding kill power at the tip, and is reasonably easy to get the tip or hitbox even without access to perfect pivot, especially if you're ledge trapping. I believe it has the potential to kill Mario at like 100% on the edge of the stage. As for Lucina, hers isn't forward tilt. I'm choosing forward air. Forward air is frame 6, does good damage, covers a huge area in front of her, and is one of the best forward airs in the game, at least for me. The reason I didn't choose Marth's forward air but chose Lucina's is because it's a lot harder to consistently get tippers in the air when you're constantly moving about. And in Lucina's case, her forward tilt is nowhere near as strong as Marth's, taking way longer to kill near the edge, hence why I chose different attacks for each. Young Link is another easy one. Neutral beat. Fire arrows are fast, have good combo potential, almost zero end lag for some inexplicable reason, and is a huge contributor to why Young Link is widely considered the strongest of the 3 Links. For Ganon, I choose Nair. Frame 7 does really good damage, has decent range, somewhat safe on shield, long-lasting hitboxes, and can kill later on. I was thinking about his dash attack since it's really strong and the sour spot can combo at lower percents, but if it were one or the other, I'll go with Nair. Mewtwo is another character with a lot of good moves. Personally, I want to go with forward air since many would call it the best forward air in the game, but Shadow Ball has all the benefits of Samus' charge shot and the same applications in Mewtwo's kit if not more. If I think about it some, you see Shadow Ball often being used more than forward air anyway. But in all seriousness, Roy and Chrom have probably the best jab in the game. It doesn't have the same speed as the likes of ZSS or Little Mac, nor does it have the same absurd kill power as Bowser Jr. But the sheer amount of combo potential it rewards you makes it feel like a budget electric wind god fist, because that's effectively what it is. You can jab into Falcon Knee, jab into DK Giant Punch, jab into Wolf Back Air, jab into Limit Cross Slash, jab into basically any half-decent kill move you can use in the air for virtually the entire cast. It can even hit ledge hang for some characters, so you can just smash the crap out of it. I hate this move, it's not fair. 3 more characters to go, so let's wrap this up. Game & Watch, up B, no questions asked. Frame 3, massive vertical reach, doesn't send you into freefall, invincible for the first few frames, making it a spectacular anti-air and combo breaker, uncontestedly the best off special in the game, with its only real weakness being that it's not a kill move out of shield, but I mean, who cares when you have all those privileges? For Meta Knight, I'm gonna go with probably dash attack. Not many talk about Meta Knight anymore these days, what with his fall from grace over the past installments, but dash attack is one of those fast grounded combo starters reminiscent of Fox or Diddy Kong and has a very good chance of crossing up shields. Not as good as it used to be in Smash 4, but I couldn't really think of anything else. A good contender was Forward Smash though, being one of the safest F smashes in the game at -6 on shield, so you see Meta Knight players throwing it out in neutral because, well, they can. You can't punish it. But it's a frame 24 startup, so it's one of those throw it out and hope they run into it by accident moves. Finally, we arrive at Pit and Dark Pit. Technically, they have different stuff, but their best move is still the same, Guardian Orbiters. Prior to Steve, Pit and Dark Pit were really the only characters in the game who could essentially use their shield in the air. Comes out of frame 7, can reflect projectiles, and is also somewhat positive on hit, as in most of the time, Pit can attack his opponent before the shield stun wears off, and no matter how many people tell you that you can hit them directly from above or below, you need like a hero up smash or down air to not accidentally hit one of the Orbiters. It's a lot harder than you think. They can spam this move all day every day, and there's very little you can do about it unless you have a Bowser side B. And there you have it, part 1 of each character's best move. Let me know in the comments if you agree or disagree with my choices, as well as maybe future predictions on what I will choose for parts 2 and 3. Aside from that, hope you enjoyed. If you have, please like and subscribe, really helps out the channel. Also follow me on Twitter, join my Discord server, and why not check out my other videos if you haven't yet. But till next time, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you again soon in the next one. Take care.